Mazda MX-5 RF stands for retractable fastback. It swaps the regular MX-5's manually operated soft-top hood for a motorized steel/aluminium/plastic hardtop, with an unusual design, sporting distinctive Targa-style fairings. It looks like no MX-5 that's gone before. It's considerably more affordable than other roadsters with folding hardtops like BMW Z4 and Mercedes SLC, although it is around £2,000 more expensive than the conventional soft-top MX-5. Fiat's own version of the Mazda MX-5, the turbocharged 124 Spider, is currently available with a manual soft-top only. This makes the MX-5 RF a unique proposition. Mazda hopes it will attract a different cross-section of buyers, who might ordinarily be put off by the idea of a soft-top, and like the idea of an MX-5 that looks a little more grown-up. How does the roof work? It takes 13 seconds to go from closed to open, or vice versa, by pressing a switch on the center console. It's quite a spectacle to watch. The flying buttress fairings lift into the air, then the rear glass and roof panels fold themselves into a space in front of the boot, before the buttresses return to their original position. The result is a car that doesn't feel as open and exposed to the elements as the fully convertible soft-top MX-5, but still allows plenty of open air into the cabin. Boot space is identical to the soft-top MX-5, and with the roof up it's much quieter on the motorway. The downside is a far greater level of wind noise when the roof is open. There's an annoying, resonant wind buffeting at speeds above 55 miles per hour or so, which means you'll need to raise your voice to continue a conversation with the passenger. There's no difference in boot space between the MX-5 soft-top and RF models, with a reasonable amount of space inside for 2 large bags, maybe 3 at a push, but a narrow aperture to maneuver them through. Engines, trim levels, automatic gearbox option like the soft-top MX-5, 2 4-cylinder petrol engines are available, a 1.5 and a 2.0 liter, with 130 horsepower and 160 horsepower respectively. Both come with an excellent, fun-to-use 6-speed manual gearbox as standard. However, the MX-5 RF also introduces the option of an auto transmission, available with the 2.0 liter engine only. There are currently no plans to introduce an auto MX-5 soft-top in the UK, so if you're searching for a brand new MX-5 automatic then the 2.0 liter RF model is your only choice. The Mazda MX-5 RF is available with 3 trim levels, say LNAV, Sport NAV and Launch Edition. All models come with Sat NAV as standard. Verdict: the Mazda MX-5 RF is a very likable car, with an unusual style all of its own. Even though it's a little heavier than the soft-top model, it's just as much fun to drive, if not even more so. Its slightly stiffer suspension means it has a little less body roll than its fabric-topped sibling. It's a shame the wind noise is so great when the roof is open, because when the roof is closed it's quieter and more comfortable than the soft-top. Taller drivers, be warned, although the roofline is slightly taller, headroom is still very tight. If you're likely to cover more motorway miles than average in your MX-5, or particularly like the look of the RF's lines, there's much here to enjoy. However, we suspect most buyers will be served equally well by the cheaper, lighter, less complicated Mazda MX-5 soft-top. 2 naturally aspirated engines on offer. Larger 2.0 liter motor delivers best performance. All versions are slower to 62 miles per hour than MX-5 soft-top. The Mazda MX-5 isn't the fastest car in the world, and that's fine. It's more about enjoying winding roads than winning drag races. The RF weighs 40 to 45 kilograms more than the MX-5 soft-top, which makes it ever so slightly slower. Cars with the 2.0 liter engine feel markedly quicker than the 1.5. So that's the one to go for if you're in a hurry. A 2.0 liter MX-5 RF will get from 0 to 62 miles per hour in 7.4 seconds, or 8.4 seconds with the optional automatic gearbox, and go on to a top speed of 134 miles per hour, 121 miles per hour in the auto. Although it's 1.2 seconds slower to 62 miles per hour, 8.6 seconds, and has a lower top speed of 126 miles per hour. Some drivers prefer the smaller, manual-only 1.5-liter engine as it feels more eager to rev and sounds slightly fruitier. With less torque on hand, you'll notice the difference when faced with a steep hill, but whichever engine you pick you'll be having too much fun to care. Nimble handling makes the MX-5 RF a joy to drive. Upgraded performance parts on 2.0-liter models. Tight turning circle makes it easy to drive around town. The Mazda MX-5 RF is wonderful fun to drive. Like the soft-top MX-5, the RF is a car with nimble, involving and engaging handling at any speed. To counteract the slightly higher center of gravity created by the heavier roof mechanism, it has been given marginally firmer suspension settings than the soft-top MX-5. This makes for less body roll, but not at the expense of ride comfort, and with recalibrated power steering, there's slightly better feedback through the wheel. All 2.0-litre Mazda MX-5 RF models come with a limited slip differential as standard, which enables slightly more precise handling, especially in slippery conditions. Choose the 2.0-litre in top sport nav trim, and it also comes with firmer Bilstein sport suspension, offering tighter body control. An excellent turning circle makes it a very easy car to drive in town, and once you've got used to sitting near the rear wheels, it's one of the easiest cars around to park, although the RF's roofline buttresses obscure over-the-shoulder visibility slightly. Virtually identical to soft-top MX-5's cabin, well-positioned pedals, a highlight clearly displayed instruments, and rev counter. The cabin is essentially identical to the soft-top Mazda MX-5's, with the addition of the switch for the roof mechanism next to the aircon controls the only real change. In certain markets, Mazda will offer the RF with brighter interior colors than the soft-top, to emphasize its more deluxe market proposition. The steering wheel is relatively large, like that of a classic car, and the pedals are nicely positioned, with a floor-mounted accelerator pedal for more precise throttle control. There's a lockable cubby between the seats in lieu of a glove box, with removable, and slightly fiddly, cup holders just ahead of it. A large rev counter sits center stage in the clear, neatly designed instrument panel, flanked by a clearly legible speedo and a separate digital dial with trip computer data. A color multimedia screen sits on top of the center of the dashboard. When the car's stationary, it can be used as a touch screen, while on the move that function is sensibly disabled, and the screen's displays are controlled by a transmission tunnel-mounted rotary dial, making it easier to concentrate on the road. Taller drivers may struggle to get comfortable. More refined than soft-top MX-5 with the roof-up soft suspension means impressive ride comfort. How comfortable you find the Mazda MX-5 RF probably depends partly upon how tall you are. If you're 5'10" in or under, it's an easy car to get comfy in, with a classic sports car straight-leg driving position. Taller drivers will find headroom tight, and the transmission tunnel steals a bit of space in the footwell, too. The MX-5 steering column currently adjusts for rake height, but not reach. Mazda is working on developing a lighter-weight telescopic steering column, which it may introduce to the range in the future. With the roof closed, the MX-5 RF is noticeably quieter on the motorway than the soft-top version, although with the roof open there's a great deal of wind noise to put up with, above 55 miles per hour or so, more so than the soft-top, in fact, assuming its wind deflector is in place. Ride quality is exceptionally comfortable for a sports car, with relatively soft suspension to soak up speed bumps and potholes. The 1.5-litre cars have smaller 16-inch wheels, offering a marginally smoother ride than the 2.0-litres larger 17s. Extensive range of equipment across the board, SAIL nav and Sport nav trims available with both engines. Handful of optional extras including £400 safety pack. There are two main Mazda MX-5 RF trim levels, SAIL nav and Sport nav, with a limited launch edition available in the early part of 2017. Standard Mazda MX-5 RF equipment. The base SAIL nav model is available with both the 1.5 and 2.0-litre engine. The former gets 16-inch alloy wheels and body-colored door mirrors, while the larger engine makes its presence known with larger, 17-inch gunmetal grey alloys and gloss black mirrors. The 2.0-litre also adds a limited slip differential. As its name suggests, SAIL nav trim includes a sat-nav function on the color multimedia screen as standard, although it's not the most intuitive system on the market, and subjected us to a few wrong turns when we tried it. Climate control aircon, which enables you to set a specific temperature for the cabin and automatically stick to it, is also standard fit, as is cruise control and dive radio. Move up to the Sport nav trim and you'll get heated leather seats. The unheated seats in the SAIL nav are finished in black cloth, and automatic wipers and headlights, which include an automatic high beam dipping function. Keyless entry is standard on the Sport nav too, as are rear parking sensors and an upgraded Bose stereo system. The Sport nav is also available with both engines. Confusingly, the 1.5 gets 16-inch gunmetal alloys and gloss black mirrors, and the 2.0 17-inch bright finish alloys and body-colored door mirrors, like the base 1.5. 2-liter Sport NAF models also get firmer Bilstein suspension dampers and a strut brace to go with the limited slip differential. From launch, there's also a limited-run Mazda MX-5 RF Launch Edition. It gets smarter, more supportive Recaro seats, suede interior trim, 17-inch BBS alloy wheels, a rear spoiler and metallic paint, in either Sol Red or Machine Grey. Optional Mazda MX-5 accessories. The Mazda MX-5 RF options list is a pleasingly short one. It includes metallic or pearlescent paint, around £550 special Sol Red and Machine Grey paint, £670 Napa leather trim, on Sport NAF trim only, £400 safety pack, automatic high beam dip, blind spot warning monitor and rear cross traffic alert, £400 prices as of January 2017, no Euro NCAP safety rating at the time of writing, likely to be as safe as 4-star rated soft top MX-5 rear cross traffic alert and a blind spot monitor are cost options because the Mazda MX-5 does not have a B-pillar joining the roof like many conventional cars. It adds a seatback crossmember to strengthen the body structure, and reinforced sills and A-pillars. Front and side airbags are fitted, and the steering column is designed to be crushable to absorb energy. The passenger seat includes ISOFIX child seat anchors and a top tether. Like most modern cars, the Mazda MX-5 RF includes a variety of sensors, radar and cameras for safety systems. Blind spot monitoring flashes a warning light in the door mirror glass if it believes you may be about to move into the path of obscured traffic in the next lane. The same system sensors also operate in reverse, in rear cross traffic alert mode. Lane departure warning system, LDWS, uses a camera to detect if the driver is drifting into another lane without indicating and sounds a warning. In cars with the Bose audio system, it triggers a surprisingly effective rumble strip sound through the appropriate door speaker to warn the driver. Adaptive front lighting system, AFS, points the low beams in the direction of the steering, to better illuminate dark roads at night. The closely related MX-5 soft top scored 4 stars in Euro NCAP safety tests, including a 84% rating for adult occupant protection and a 93% pedestrian protection score, helped by a pop-up bonnet and impact-absorbing beads above the engine. Near identical boot capacity to soft-top MX-5 at 127 liters. Interior storage space is at a premium with no door pockets. Higher roof line than soft-top MX-5 means more headroom. One of the primary detractors of a folding hardtop roof is where to stow it once folded down. Most manufacturers make room for it in the boot, but since the soft-top MX-5 only has a 130-liter luggage capacity, there's precious little space to take away. Happily, Mazda's engineers have managed to keep the RF's boot capacity almost identical to the soft tops at 127 liters. This means you can still just about squeeze 2 holdall-style bags in should the need arise. On the inside it's the same story as in the soft top MX-5, hardly any storage space and snug for those with long limbs. The lack of door pockets and a glove box are particular disappointments. Thanks to a higher roof line, there is a tad more headroom than in the soft top, and the storage locker placed in between the backs of the seats is surprisingly capacious.